I love to play art. That's what I play, and my music is playful, and the way I go about it is playful. For me, because I wasn't a social kid getting, spending a lot of time with the other kids and becoming part of the norm or the middle of the road, I kind of honed it. I wasn't trying to be an artist, but that was where I played. And I remember there was a record player, and I used to lie on the floor, and I'd take the vacuum cleaner pipe so nobody was around, and I'd put them into my, I invented headphones. I'm always annoyed when I see retrospectives of the 60s, when, the late 60s, when it was already about, drugs and alcohol. The early 60s was about coffee houses and a real student movement. Talk, 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 listen, 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 right? And coffee houses made it possible for young students to go out at night and hear each other's music. And I mean, you have to understand that the times students ruled. It was very different from the business having it all wrapped up. They always wanted to make me Pocahontas and fringes. And I was more interested in giving them Indian 101 in 3 minutes. I had a college degree in my hand, and I was writing songs that were undeniably universal and of great impact, like Universal Soldier, or love songs that had nothing to do with anything except passion and love that anybody could understand, like Until It's Time for You to Go. And I was traveling around mostly on a bus. I remember, I'd been in Canada and Maine and Massachusetts, so I was used to the cold. And I remember the first time I got an invitation to go to Florida in February. Oh, I loved show business. I don't drink wine, liquor, I don't beer, nothing. I don't like how it tastes, so
I prefer to keep it organic myself.
I've lived in Hawaii in the same place for over 42 years. In the 60s, I was a young singer with too much money. And, it was kind of acid days, and, the streets were full of people, and I was looking for a place to kind of step back and relax. I wasn't looking to be in show business. I was looking to be out of it. I loved farm life. I had no interest in the beach. I was brown enough. I was looking to stay out of the limelight, so I found this. I had been living on a Christmas tree farm in Maine, and I found a Christmas tree farm in Hawaii. I had all kinds of electronic instruments, and nobody in the city was into that anyway. It was just too early. They thought I was crazy. They would have lost track of me in the 60s and thought that Buffy Sainte-Marie was an acoustic guitar player anyway, which was true. But when Illuminations came out in the 60s, it was much too early for the music business, and it became a favorite with art students and electronic music students.
Can you explain to us what a mouth bow is, how it's played, and when you first discovered it?
It's probably the oldest stringed instrument in the world. It's based on a hunting bow. And if you take a hunting bow of any kind, you can make music on it. You find a bent stick, and then you put a string from this end to this end. You put it up to your mouth, and your mouth becomes like a resonating chamber, like the sound hole of a guitar. But you're playing a string, so the string is making all those little harmonic changes. I got a Mac in 1983, just before it hit the streets. For me, that was magic. I had never been, I was so early into electronic music, then I got into computers for movie scoring. And all of a sudden, I had the Mac. I could do my paintings, because it remembers brush strokes, and I could write my songs, and I could multi-track. I could put my stuff on a little floppy disk, put it in my purse, get on the plane, go to Toronto, rent another Macintosh, and I could continue my work. So it's been very, very important to me. For me, it's just as natural to use my computer to work with paintings as it is in my wet studio. And it's all just different tools to do the same thing. I was bringing computers to the reservations really, really early and explaining, oh man, you can record your histories, you can design your quilts and do your beadwork patterns. It's about sharing, having multiple versions. It's about retaining culture. We were talking about the Cradle Board Teaching Project, which is basically about native curriculum, accurate native curriculum presented through multimedia, and connectivity, connecting native people on the res with other classrooms and teachers and universities off the res, but being in the driver's seat of delivering our self-identity to other people. Native women in particular, I think, are using every technology, every resource, every lap, every breast, every embrace that we have. We embrace our culture, and to a certain extent we embrace the rest of the world, but it's all about being effective in your community and in the larger community too. So, it's basically, act local, think global. Yes, we can,